Welcome, friends. Hey, I'm Vanessa, and today I'm going to be in the kitchen. I've been asked a lot, how do you cook from scratch? Well, today I'm going to show you. We are going to make some high-protein pancakes. You probably have all the ingredients in your home. So let's get started. You're going to need either an immersion blender or a blender. You're going to need full-fat cottage cheese, 9-grain rolled oats. You can use just regular old-fashioned oats. Please don't use the instant because your nutritional value will plummet. 2 eggs. I'm using farm fresh. Salt, and I have real salt because of the mineral value. Baking soda and homemade vanilla. So let's get started. We're going to put the 9-grain oats in the container, and then I'm going to use my immersion blender to blend it so that way it'll become a flour, and that's kind of the consistency you're looking for. And once you've got it blended as fine as you'd like, 1/2 cup of cottage cheese. Now, since I'm using fresh raw eggs, I'm going to crack it into my measuring cup. One for make sure it's a good egg, and so I don't get no eggshells. 1/8 of a teaspoon of real salt. I use real salt is because it actually has minerals. Iodized salt that you usually get from the grocery store doesn't have. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of vanilla if you'd like. You don't have to. We're going to do my immersion blender again. Now we're going to let this set for 5 minutes so that baking powder can kind of activate itself and make the pancakes fluffy. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of clean up, and then I'll meet you over at the stove. And also, we do have the stove preheated at a medium-low. Now that our pancake mix has set for 5 minutes, the griddle is hot. We're going to take 1/4 of a cup of a measuring cup, and we're going to start measuring out so we can get about the same size pancakes. Now, this is a low-carb meal. If you wanted to make it kind of keto, you could use a 1/4 cup of almond flour versus what I used, which was the 9-grain oats, or you can use your old-fashioned oats. So let's get scooping. The batter is kind of thick, which is a really good thing. Now, if you wanted, you could add different fruits in here. Let me go get some blueberries. I'm back with my blueberries. One thing when you keep a well-stocked pantry on things that you actually eat, it sure makes running to the store a whole lot less. And with not running to the store so much, you're not spending so much money because you're not picking up just what you wanted, plus all these other things that kind of catch your attention. You're going to your cabinet or your pantry. So let's put a few of these blueberries in here. So the way you can tell when your pancake is ready, you're going to get those bubbles towards the end. It's going to kind of look kind of dry. That's okay. That's what you're looking for. I heard in the last 19 years, I had weight loss surgery back in 2007, and I have heard from so many people, it's so expensive to eat healthy. In reality, if you think about it, it really isn't. Because when you take the fact of the processed foods, the boxed foods that you buy, sodium, protein, fiber, the quality of product, you'll find that if you cook from scratch or from real products, it doesn't cost near as much because you're not eating a lot. When you actually eat real food, quality ingredients, it's more fulfilling and you won't be eating as much. That's what I've learned. And if I just eat really good, wholesome food, eat my protein and my fiber first, go to my carbohydrates, I tend to stay full longer. Now, something that I've implemented in my life is intermittent fasting. So from 6:30 at night to 10:30 the next morning, I don't eat. Now I will have my iced coffee with artificial sweetener and milk and coffee. That's all I have. And then I don't eat anything else until 10:30 is when I'll start making my breakfast. Well, these pancakes are looking pretty good. Your first ones always look kind of wonky, but they're just as edible. Fixing to turn down my grill a little bit. It looks like it's getting kind of too warm. It looks like it's only going to make 4. So I'm just going to make these last 2 a little bit bigger. Let's put some blueberries in it. These look really good. So, I've been told over the years, Vanessa, you ought to start doing videos. Well, my videos are going to be so cheesy, but they're real. The food that I eat is real. It's not that you have to go out and buy all these type of ingredients that you're not going to have. The food that I have at my house is real food, has a lot of nutritional value, I've taken the recipes that I used to enjoy before my weight loss surgery to a more healthier version. Are they actually healthy? Probably not, just a healthier version. For example, pizza. Pizza I absolutely love. And I'm not willing to give that up. I meal my own grains into flour to make my pizza dough. And we'll go through that one day. But it looks like it's about ready to turn. Oh, don't those look yummy. We'll let these cook for a couple of minutes and then we will plate up. You know, if you've started watching me through my real talk videos with real estate, one thing you've noticed, or I hope you've noticed, is that I've talked about I have a small home. I have a galley kitchen, so it's kind of difficult to get the angle right and to get the best lighting due to the size and the layout of my kitchen. So just like you, I'm doing the best I can with what I have. So I hope this helps you to know you can get in the kitchen too. No matter your age or your budget, you can still do it and you can still make a nutritional meal that will be healthier for you. You can either do it in a small batch and have a couple of meals, because I'll get 2 meals from these 4 pancakes, or you can make it just a single serving and you just have to cook and clean more often. I'll put it in the freezer or the refrigerator depending on the amount, and then when I want it again like pancakes, I will actually put this in the microwave and heat it up for about 40 seconds. And then I'll either put, what I used here is the sugar-free syrup. Not really supporting any brands, but this is the brand that I have come to like. The other thing that doesn't make my sugar go crazy is real maple syrup. So you can use that as well, but I tend to go with the sugar-free version because it messes with my sugar less. And even though I'm not diabetic, since my weight loss surgery, I have a lot of the same symptoms that I have to watch with a diabetic does. So again, I'm not a doctor, but these are the things that's worked for me over the 19 years. Well, let's take this off. Add some butter. So here's my pancakes. We're going to add a little bit of syrup to it. And doesn't that look yummy? There's no frills in my kitchen, just really good home cooking meals. If this is something you enjoy and you would like more of, put a heart down in the comments. And also, I'll also put the recipe down there too, so you'll have that if you choose to make this. Thank you for watching. You guys have a fabulous day and God bless. Bye until next time.